Welcome everyone. I'm going to start off by opening up an app, and in order to go home, we need to do the following motion. So I'm going to do it and then I'll explain what I'm doing. So just go like this. And what I'm doing is starting from either the black or white bar, I'm going to swipe up with my thumb. You can use any finger you want, but the finger you're using to navigate the phone, to tap to stuff, you should be using that to go home. So I'm going to start the swipe motion. And when I get to about 25% up on the screen, I'm going to release my finger from the touchscreen. So you will need to do this quickly, and I'll show why. So swipe up and release, swipe up, release. You can see that goes home. If you do this too slowly, either you can see you're not going home, or sometimes it just opens another app. So just do a quick swipe up and release. You may want to think of it as flicking on the touchscreen, and once you've done the flick, you release your finger from the screen. Swipe up, release. Swipe up, release. As once we have learnt this, we need to learn how to go into the app drawer. So you saw earlier, I can view all of my apps, but to do this, instead of swiping up and releasing, we need to swipe up, and when we were going to release our finger from the screen, we need to hold our finger on the screen instead. So we're going to swipe up and hold like this, and I've waited like 10 seconds, but we need to wait a lot shorter. But at any time, we release from the touchscreen, and now we're in the app drawer. You feel a vibration on the phone, and that tells you when you can stop holding your finger. So the fastest way, swipe up, hold, release, swipe up, hold, release, swipe up, hold, release, swipe up, hold, release. If you aren't feeling the vibration or you're not getting that down well, swipe up, hold for a bit, and then release. And now we see all of our apps. To close out of an app, because even if you go home, the app is still running in the background. And let's make sure we go back to that app drawer. One more time, swipe up, hold, release. To close out of an app, you're going to get your finger and you're going to do that same flick motion you would do to go home, but you're going to do it where you see the app preview. So I'm going to flick the finger up, and you can see that has closed the app. I'll do it again with this app. If you do swipe from left to right and you swipe to the edge, there should be a clear all button, and if you tap this button, it's going to take us home. Now, if I open up an app, so let's say the settings, and I go into a menu inside the settings, I want to go back to the previous page without going home or closing out of the app entirely. So what you would need to do is, if we go back into the app, and I'll go to a menu here, to go back to the previous page, either from the right hand side of the screen, you're going to swipe from right to left, and then when you see this back icon, you're going to release like this, or from the left hand side of the screen, you're going to swipe from left to right, and when you see that back icon, you're going to release like this, and this will allow you to go back. So to do this quickly, just flick and release like you'd go home. Boom, boom. You can see like this, but you can go slowly. So I did a very slow swipe there. And once you see that back icon, just release your finger and it's going to take you back. Now, let's say you have multiple apps on your Google Pixel 8 Pro. So I'm going to open up multiple apps like this. And you want to switch between the apps which are in the background quickly. Well, where this bar is, we know to go home, we swipe up and release. Well, if we swipe from left to right or right to left, we can switch between each apps are in the background. So I'm going to swipe from left to right. You can see it switched to the previous app. And then swiping right to left switches to the next app. If you swipe and it's not letting you, then you have reached the furthest app. See, we can swipe across just like this. If we go back into the app drawer, this can be known as the multitasking menu. So we swipe up, hold, and release here. You do have some options such as screenshotting, the preview here, or selecting certain parts of what you see here and then saving that as an image. But maybe you want to have two apps open at once. To do this, tap where you see the app icon, tap the icon, and then tap on split screen. You will then need to tap the second application, and this app must already be running in the background. So I'll tap on the Gmail, and now you can see we're in split screen. You can use your, the first app at the top and the second app. To resize this, where you see the swipe bar here, swipe down or swipe up to resize. And if you fully swipe down to the bottom, you will close out of the bottom app. And if you fully swipe up to the top, you will close out of the top app. If you've watched this far and you're just like, man, I just want my buttons back, you can get your buttons back. And to do this, swipe down from the top once, swipe down from the top one more time, and then we're going to tap on the settings icon. In the settings, I want you to scroll all the way down until you see here, system. You are then going to locate the navigation mode, and then we can use gesture navigation, which is what I was showing earlier, or we can go back to the old 3-button navigation. You press the middle button to go home, you press the bottom left button to go back, then you press the bottom right button to enter the multitasking. With that being said, if you would like to help support the channel, please do check the description. Bye bye.